Alright, so again, today we are doing more solving equations notes. This is a reminder to please keep them all together. You can use them on tests, so it's benefiting you to both take really good notes and keep them all together so you can use them on your tests. Your title today is Solving Equations, and we are using distributive property. So, distributive property, just to do a little review, is let's say you have a 3 on the outside and you have an x plus 2 on the inside. We want to distribute this 3 to both numbers or variables or terms, whatever, on the inside. So we're going to multiply the 3 by the x and the 3 by the 2. So our final answer would be 3 times x plus, and we got that by 3 times x, plus 3 times 2. So 3 times 2. So our final answer for this would then be 3x. That's how we write this. Plus whatever 3 times 2 is, that's 6. So this would be our final simplified expression if I was using the distributive property on this problem. So we're using the knowledge we have about distributive property and the knowledge we have about combining like terms to solve equations. Remember, these aren't like, you can't combine them. All right, example number 1. We have 5 times 4n minus 4 equals negative 60. Now remember, these are just like ones on the video or on your worksheet. So you'll see stars next to ones on your worksheet, and you can go ahead and copy these down from that. So first thing we want to do is distribute the 5 to both the 4n and the negative 4. And we get 5 times 4n is going to give us 20n. 5 times negative 4 is going to give us a negative 20. And that again equals negative 60. So now we have a two-step equation. We want to add or subtract first. So in this case, we're adding 20 to both sides. Just like last week, we cancel these out. 20n equals negative 60 plus a positive 20. It's going to give us a negative 40. Now we divide. Because we're multiplying right here, we do the opposite of multiplication and we divide. Negative 40 divided by 20 is n equals negative 2. Remember, negative divided by a positive is a negative. All right, let's move on. Example number 2. Now in this example, we're using distributive property right here, and then we're going to combine like terms with using this x out here. So first thing we want to do is distribute the 3 to both the x and the 4. So we leave our x out here, this x plus 3 times x is going to give me 3x. 3 times 4 is going to give me a positive 12, and that equals 20. Now this is like yesterday. Well, now we're going to combine like terms, which are x and a positive 3x. And we get what? We get 4x. This is just like saying 1 plus 3x, 1x, plus 12 equals 20. Well, now again, we're down to a two-step equation. So we minus 12 from both sides, minus 12 from both sides. Cancel this, we get 4x equals 20 minus 12 is a positive 8. Now what do? We divide, because 4 times x is multiplication. We divide both sides by 4, and we get x equals 8 divided by 4 is 2. Remember, this is just a big giant 1. Make this look like a 1. So x equals 8 divided by 4, which is 2. All right, example number 3. We have 5 times k minus 2 minus 8k. So again, we're going to have to use distributive property over here and then combine like terms with this negative 8k. So first we distribute the 5 to the k and the negative 2, and we get 5k, and 5 times negative 2 is negative 10. That's a 0, not a 6. Minus 8k equals negative 34. So now we combine like terms. I'll change to blue. I want to circle my like terms. I have a positive 5k and a negative 8k. Well, 5k minus 8k is going to give me a negative 3k minus 10 from this equals negative 34. So now what do? Now we have a two-step equation yet again. Well, this time we have subtraction, so we want to add because we're always doing the opposite. So negative 3k equals, remember, negative 10 plus 10, that's 0. Negative 34 plus a positive 10 is going to leave us with a negative 24. Now we divide both sides by negative 3, divide by negative 3. Over here, remember this is just a big fat 1. We get k equals negative divided by a negative is going to give us a positive 8. All right, now the U tries. Here we go. Remember, A is just like example 1, B is just like example 2, C is just like example 3. So try these, see if you can get them right, and check with the video. Alright, so A, you should have gotten n equals negative 2. B, you should have gotten x equals 5. And C, you should have gotten k equals 8. So again, these are just like the previous 3 examples that you had in the video. So if you don't get one of them, go back and watch the example again, and maybe it'll help you get the right answer. All right, example 4. We have 7 minus 4 times d minus 3 equals 23. Now each of these examples are changing a little bit each time. So like now we have a negative and a negative. So here we go. First thing we want to do, as always, is distribute the 4 to the d and the negative 3. Well, this is a negative 4. So let's not forget, negative 4 times d is going to give us a negative 4d. Negative 4 times negative 3 is going to give us a positive 12. So we just distributed that 4. Let's rewrite the rest of the problem. We have equals 23, and up here we have this 7. Just stays out there. Do not, the note, do not try and subtract 7 and 4. You can't do that, okay? You can't do it. You have to distribute this 4 first. So I'm going to get rid of that, but never ever try and combine these before you distribute this 4. All right, so here we go. Now we combine like terms. Well, in this case, our like terms are 7 and a positive 12. They don't have variables. So 7 plus 12 is going to give us a 21. Oh, is that right? No, it's going to give us 19. 19 minus 4d equals 23. Well, now we subtract 19 from both sides. We get negative 4d equals 23 minus 19 is 4. So divide each side by negative 4. Divide 4 by negative 4. And we get, remember this is just one giant 1. Negative 4 over negative 4 is a positive 1. So we get d equals 4 divided by negative 4 is a negative 1. All right, example 5. We have a negative 2 times p minus 5 plus 7p. So what do we want to do? Oh yeah, that's right, distribute, because we're using distributive property. We distribute that negative 2, so it's going to become negative 2p. Now remember, this is a negative 2, so we say negative 2 times this negative 5, which gives us a positive 10. Then we add the rest of the problem, which is plus 7p equals negative 5. Now when we combine like terms, what do we get? We get a negative 2p plus a 7p. Negative 2 plus a positive 7 is going to give us a positive 5p plus 10 on this side. And we got that from adding these two together. 10 comes from right there. That equals negative 5. Now what do we have? Oh my gosh, a two-step equation. Fancy that. So we want to minus 10 from both sides, just like we always have. This cancels, right? What's left over here is a 5p equals negative 5 minus 10 is going to give us a negative 15. Now we divide both sides by 5. One giant 1 here. We get a P equals negative 15 divided by 5. It's going to give us a negative 3. Now remember, anytime you can write that down faster than me, go for it. Don't always wait for my answer. If you have the answer, write it down. Beat me to the punch. All right, example number 6. And remember, example number 6 is going to be on your worksheet just as is. So this is number 17 on your worksheet. It'll have a little star next to it. That means, oh, this is done on the video. Write an equation and solve for x if the area of the rectangle is 55 square units. So we know area equals length times width. So what we're going to do is use the area that they give us, which is 55, and we're going to use the length that they give us, which is 3x minus 1, and we're going to use the width that they give us, which is 5. So A is 55. Let's call our length this right here. So let's call this L. It doesn't really matter, right? So L is going to be 5. Our width is going to be 3x. Oh, I did that in the wrong order. So our width, or our W, is going to be 3x minus 1. Well, area, so 55, equals length, 5, times width, 3x minus 1. Well, looky there. We have distributive property, and they want us to solve for x. So let's do it. We distribute this 5 to the 3x and the negative 1. So we get 5 times 3x is 15x. 5 times negative 1 is negative 5. And that equals 55. Now we have a what? Two-step equation. Yay! So let's add 5 to both sides. We know how to do this. We get 60 equals 15x. We divide both sides by 15. We get x equals 4. 4 units. They don't tell us what it is. They just tell us they're just square units. So this is 4 units. All right, now for the U try. Go ahead and try D and E on your own and check with the video. All right, for D, you should have gotten D equals negative 1. For E, you should have gotten P equals negative 3. If you didn't get those right, go back and watch examples 4 and 5. They're very similar. And again, remember all of these examples are on tonight's assignment, so use these notes to complete your assignment.